Brand positioning is one of the pillars of marketing strategy, and it can take your marketing from vague and ineffective to clear and profitable. The problem is that brand positioning is one of those textbook terms that sounds great on paper, but can be very confusing to implement. That's where the value offer matrix comes in. This is a great way to analyze the 9 positioning strategies, see which one works and why, and then build your marketing efforts around one of the winning strategies. Now, for each one of these winning strategies, I will be giving a real-world company as an example, and at the end, I'll tell you what my personal favorite strategy is and the one that I believe is the most effective. So first, the value offer matrix is critical to your marketing, but why? As you may know, every business has to have a value offer. This is ultimately the reason your customer would buy from you rather than the competitor. Now, your value offer is determined by your positioning strategy, and I would say that your positioning strategy has to be determined by your competitors and the marketing environment of your industry. So to summarize, I would say that your positioning strategy indirectly determines whether or not your potential customers will buy from you or from a competitor. So when it comes to the value offer matrix, think of this as a tool that allows you to answer some key fundamental questions about your marketing strategy. And your marketing strategy is of course key in determining the success or failure of your marketing. Okay, so now that we know the importance of the value offer matrix, what exactly is it? So it's a 3x3 grid consisting of 9 squares. On the left side, you have the amount of benefits your customer will be receiving from you relative to how much benefits they will receive from your competitors. And on the top, measured from left to right, you have the price your customer will have to pay to receive those benefits, again, relative to the price your competitors are charging. Now notice how everything is measured relative to your competitors in the existing competitive environment. Note the key distinction here is that the bottom 3 strategies are losing strategies. Those are highlighted in red. Obviously, nobody is going to pay more for the same amount of benefits, pay the same for less benefits, or even worse, pay more for less benefits. You will also notice that the center square is yellow, and while it's not technically a losing strategy, it has absolutely no competitive advantage, so it might as well be a losing strategy. This, unfortunately, is the square that I see a lot of small businesses falling into, especially with regard to how they market themselves. Now, the other 5 strategies in green are winning strategies, and here are examples of each. Now, I'm going to be using grocery-related chains for examples, so we're not comparing apples to oranges. First, we have less for way less. Now, I think a great example of this is Dollar Tree. You can buy quite a bit of grocery items here for an extreme discount, but the quality is of course considerably lower than other options. Yet the company has been very successful with this strategy. Next, we have the same for less, and I believe Walmart does a great job with this strategy since you can buy name brand items at everyday low prices. Next, we have more for less. Profit margins do tend to be lower here, so it can be tough or even impossible for some companies to position themselves here, but I believe Aldi is a prime example of more for less. Aldi has done a great job of making off-brand items that are the same or at least comparable to name brand foods. Now, from personal experience, I would honestly say they're close to half the price of Walmart. Next is more for the same. Now, I would put companies like Sam's Club into this category since they sell name brand items but offer the additional benefit of letting customers buy in bulk. Lastly, we have more for more, and I think a perfect example of this is Target. Many of the items that Target and Walmart share, for instance, are cheaper at Walmart, but Target offers additional things such as designer brands and things like home decorations, etc., as well as a higher class atmosphere. Now, real quick, if you guys have gotten value out of this video, please consider subscribing. This is obviously a small channel and every single subscription helps a ton. Thank you. Okay, so now that we know about the value offer matrix and have some real world examples, how can you apply this to your own marketing efforts? When selecting a brand positioning strategy, you need to primarily ask yourself these 2 questions. First, what strategy would be most beneficial to my target customer? And second, what is the largest gap in the current competitive landscape that my company is best suited to fill? To answer the first question, if your target customer is a college student, for instance, then the more for more strategy probably won't be as effective as others because as a general rule, college students find value in budget items and don't normally have a whole lot of disposable income. Now, to answer the second question, if you're in an industry that already has a lot of low-priced competitors who are racing to the bottom for their pricing, then trying to come in with the more for less strategy or the same for less strategy will not provide you with as much of a competitive advantage. Additionally, it may not be logistically feasible for you to compete on something like price with larger competitors. So analyze your competitors and the market as a whole and ask yourself which one of the 5 winning strategies your market needs most and which one you're best suited to fill. Okay, so I promised to talk about which strategy I think is the best. So let me start by saying that I think from a consumer's standpoint, the obvious choice is the more for less strategy, because it of course has the most benefits for the least amount of price. However, like I said previously, profit margins tend to be paper thin here. So from a business standpoint, I can't say it's the best, nor is it always practical. In my opinion, more for the same is really the sweet spot for most small businesses. In this scenario, you're not compromising on price, but you're giving more value than your competitors. Again, this is just my opinion, but differentiating on price is a slippery slope that inevitably becomes a race to the bottom to see who can sacrifice profit margins more and still survive. Instead, differentiating on quality, which can come in many different forms, is usually the superior positioning strategy for small businesses. Thanks, guys.